Mr. President, thank you for doing this.
It's an honor.
Can you clarify what this war is about? Is regime change the goal?
Not necessarily. What is the goal is Middle East change, meaning if you look at what we've gone through in the last generation, Iran consistently spread terror, hate, and destruction all over the region and the world. And it's about time that everybody tells Iran, guys, we're fed up. This has to change one way or another. If it will lead to the regime change, the more the better. But right now, undermining their capabilities in long-range missiles, in spreading terror with their proxies, in rushing to the bomb, and a lot of other things that they've been working on. I'm asking myself for years already, why does Iran set up terror cells in Brazil, in Australia, in Britain? It has a grand plan here. And if you read what they think, and if you listen to what they say, you understand they have a grand plan. And we're here to block this grand plan and bring a new change to the region.
Are you not concerned that without a clear end game, what you get could be worse than what you have?
It's always something that one needs to take into account. History teaches us that these things can happen. But there's not much of a choice when you know, okay, that they want to jump from 2,000 long-range missiles to 20,000. When you know that they have invested all their nation's resources and money in creating havoc in the Middle East as you try to make peace with Muslim countries. When you know that they have another new secret plan to rush to the bomb, you have to take action. That's it. And it comes from a certain ideology and a certain leadership that brought this on their people. And then you see how they butcher and kill tens of thousands of their people, and you understand there's no mercy for anybody. No mercy, definitely. No mercy for moderate Islam, no mercy for Jews, and no mercy for Christians.
You say it's always a concern what might come next. Can you think of an example from history where airstrikes from above led to change from below?
So we know that the Balkans, that was a clear lesson of our generation, okay, 1992. And after about 40 days or so, it led to major change. And that was a grand war. But here I think it's much more complicated to say it's only comes from the air. There are a lot of things on the ground, not necessarily boots on the ground of soldiers, but a lot of processes that ensue that can bring change. And especially if you take into account the ability to destroy this infrastructure, which is destroying their ability to have even a protest or a dialogue, you understand that things can happen.
You say not necessarily boots on the ground, but possibly.
No, I don't think so. I don't. First of all, let me be clear. I'm not calling on any boots on the ground, not asking any American or any other one else. But if you look at the grand picture, what do you see? As opposed to this empire of evil, this coalition that Iran has developed with its proxies, there's a new coalition that has been discussed for years, and you've been following the Middle East. And this coalition is of Muslim nations, strong, robust, equipped, together with Israel, fighting this empire of evil with the support of the United States of America and its leadership. This is the issue, and that's why I commend President Trump for a uniquely bold decision at this given moment to bring a different trajectory to the situation with Iran.
You say President Trump's decision. Is that how it happened? Whose idea was this?
So first of all, I must make clear, Israel does not dictate to President Trump anything, and Israel does not drag America into a war. God forbid, we are not there. America is the superpower of the world, and President Trump is the leader of the free world. And this decision of his is out of clear considerations and professional decision-making process. Israel is a factor because Israel is an ally, and we are here at the frontier of civilizational values, a clash of civilizational values, meaning we are here in Israel protecting Europe, protecting the free world for quite some time, since October 7th, and we are an ally because if it starts with Israel, it never ends with Israel. And that's why you see the Prime Minister of Britain mentioning that only in the last year there were 20 possible Iranian terrorist attacks in Britain only. Only in Britain. That means all over the world. And it's a war that the free world must fight and stand up behind all the forces that are fighting to delegitimize the Iranian regime's activities.
President Trump said that he had in mind some names of people who could lead a new Iran, but that they also were killed in the initial airstrikes. Does Israel have a list of possible replacements?
So we're very cautious in this. I must say honestly, we're very cautious and mild in the way we look at it. It is not our job to decide who can lead Iran. What we do believe in, that it is a unique historical opportunity for millions and billions of Iranians and the nation of Iran who seeks change, and we know it for a long time. We get it from so many sources. You know, it's an open world for a long time, and you can only see the dancing and in the streets of London or Greece or other places of Iranians and Israelis to understand how much of a craving and a desire there is for change in Iran.
How long do you think this is going to last?
So it takes time, because these things take time. But if you look at it from a bird's eye view and also with the data, you see that there's a constant weakening of the Iranian regime's capabilities. And it doesn't mean that it's over. We understand it could be painful, it could be difficult, and it has its ups and downs like any such event. It's a war, as was said by your Minister of Defense, by the Secretary of Defense. War is terrible. Nobody shies away from it. But you sometimes, in order to get to peace, because there is a clear possibility of peace between Jew and Muslim and Christian in the Middle East, for you see the historical movement towards it, you need to fight to get it.
How close is the coordination between Israel and the U.S. in this war?
Superbly close. Very close.
Meaning you share lists of targets, meaning you coordinate who takes out what?
So I'm not in the war room, and for clarity's sake, I'm a head of state without executive powers. This is the constitution in Israel. But since I'm fully briefed, and this is a very intimate and close cooperation.
Do you have any guarantee that America will stick in this fight, even if the politics in America change?
So these are not considerations that you consider when you have a given moment with circumstances that force you to move forward. We take into account that we need to serve, each side needs to serve his or strategic and national security interests. Right now, there's full conjunction of interests, both of the United States of America and of Israel, to serve our national security interests of both nations, and by the way, also of the nations in the region. Because if you look objectively, when the Iranians send missiles towards Turkey, towards Cyprus, towards other countries, you understand that it could have been much, much worse had it erupted so much later.
So let's talk about those other countries. Is it your hope that the Arab Gulf states join this fight?
So we don't recommend to them anything. It's their decision. They are very important leaders and distinguished leaders. You know, some of them were mediators in the last 2 years. Some others are very firm in their position to have been the basis for the Abraham Accords. The Abraham Accords, which were carved out during President Trump's first term, are the linchpin of the future of the Middle East, of peace between Israel and the entire Middle East, and moving forward between the Jewish state and Muslim countries all over the world. This is huge. This is really historical, and I believe that these nations know how to take their own decisions in their hands, and they're doing it very nicely.
It is their decision. I'm sure they're considering it. You would welcome it.
So I believe that, you know, the problem in modern day politics is sometimes you neglect the fact that if you are hit, you say, okay, I will absorb it and move on. Now, usually, because my position has always been offer a leaf or, of an olive tree, sometimes you have no choice. If you're hit, you have to fight back.
Take me into the future as best we know it. 25 years from now, Iran is what?
Hopefully, not reigned by the Muslim clerics, the Ayatollahs, but a decent republic with its own constitution where people can dwell freely, and we have diplomatic relations as we used to have between Israel and Iran and the entire region.
So the age of the Ayatollahs would be over.
I hope so, sincerely hope so, because that ideology is the source of so much pain, agony, and evil in the world, so much instability in our region and in the world, a source of terrible, terrible agony that we've endured for the past generation or so, and it's about time that we see a different future. The Iranian people are a brilliant people. It's a brilliant nation. It's an ancient civilization which had contributed always to humanity. In the last generation, they focused heavily on spreading terror in the worst of circumstances. So many Americans lost their lives, so many Israelis lost their lives, so many other nations' peoples lost their lives.
I just have one more question because I'm cognizant of your time.
It's okay.
What do you think this war does to the U.S.-Israeli relationship going forward? And I ask because it's not a popular war in America.
I understand it's not a popular war in America because, usually people do not know the intricacies of the war, and they also compare it to previous and other wars. This is a unique war. And I listened very carefully to Secretary Rubio's statements yesterday in Congress. It's a unique war. It's a focused war. It is a war that comes in a time where you can really bring real change in the Middle East for the future.
Thank you, Mr. President.